Next up, a possible blink and you'll miss it light heavyweight fight as Anton Tokarchuk steps in the cage with Josh Heinz. Now, Ari, Hard Knocks fans very familiar with what Anton can do with his hands. On the other side, Josh Heinz coming into the Hard Knocks cage on a 4-fight win streak, all of which came by knockout.
Josh Heinz is a very interesting fighter. He's very short for his weight class. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. And he moved to Lee Meehan's gym in Lethbridge, and he's training with Jordan, and he's training mostly striking, and he thinks he's going to win all of his fights as a striker now. It's a really interesting development for a fighter, and I can't wait to see how it works.
So Josh Heinz and Anton Tokarchuk coming up next. Don't blink.
My opponent for this fight is Josh Heinz, and he's from Lethbridge, a very good gym. I know that he's a jiu-jitsu guy, which is a good opponent for me, and also he likes to strike, and according to his record, he's unbeaten.
My opponent's Anton Tokarchuk. I know he's very tall. He's got a very unorthodox style. He's got heavy hands. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a tough test.
I'll start stand-up for sure, right, and I'll try give him everything I got in the first round, right, and it might go down for the floor, and if it will, I will play that game too. I'm good at everything.
The plan is to push the pace, use the footwork, you know, in and out. He's got a long reach. Hopefully I can get my hands on him and put him to sleep.
Well, I think it will be a good fight for both of us. He's got unbeaten record, so he never lost, so I think it will be a good opponent, and I'm sure you guys are gonna love this fight.
I'm undefeated for a reason, and I plan to stay that way.
This Hard Knocks fight is a professional bout in the 205-pound division and is brought to you by Floors with Elegance. And now, let's meet the fighters.
Coming down to the cage now, Josh Heinz, who moved to Lethbridge to join the Canadian Martial Arts Center. And Jeremy says that he could not be happier with how life has worked since moving to Lethbridge.
Well, since moving to Lethbridge, he's had 4 straight knockout victories. So I guess that could put a smile on anybody's face. But again, training at a top gym, we talked about it just last with Zack Snyder moving to Champions Creed, moving over to CMC, training with UFC fighters, former UFC fighters. It's going to make you a better fighter, and it has in Josh Heinz, who's been completely changed not only his fighting style as from more of a grappler, but also his body type. He's slimmed down, he continues to move down a weight. I think his eventual landing spot, maybe 185 or even perhaps 170. And if you can imagine the striking power that Josh Heinz has at 170, he would be a world beater at that point, but he still even has good striking power here at the 205-pound division.
Yeah, long time Hard Knocks fans will remember Jordan Murray fought for us a couple times here, and Jordan Murray saying after he fought and lost to Josh Heinz that nobody had ever hit him as hard as Josh Heinz hit him, and Josh Heinz awaits his opponent.
And his opponent.
Now, speaking of guys who hit hard, here's Anton Tokarchuk, one of the most dangerous strikers in Hard Knocks history, has put several guys to sleep and has had several very tough fighters say things to us like, if I had known he would hit me that hard, we could have just gone to the bar for a drink instead. Anton Tokarchuk, no stranger to firing out his fist.
Well, and he started his career similar to what Josh Heinz did with 4 knockouts to start it, and then he ran into R.J. Richter, and it was a very tough fight against R.J. Richter. Went to the decision. It was the first time that Anton had ever gone down that long of a fight, and then he fought up against Todd Stout at Hard Knocks 42, and Todd Stout caught him with a big shot and rocked him, and he'd never been in that really position before where he'd been rocked. So it'll be interesting to see how Anton comes back from those 2 losses. A very dangerous fighter. He's long, so much longer than Josh Heinz, so we'll see how that turns out here in this 205-pound match.
Jeremy, take us through the tale of the tape.
30 years old for Anton Tokarchuk, 27 for Josh Heinz. You see the 8-inch height advantage, which translates to about a 11-inch reach advantage, and a little bit more experience in the Tokarchuk, but this is going to be an entertaining fight.
Now for our official introduction, we'll head inside the cage to Jaden Ants.
And now, the official Hard Knocks fighter introductions. In the blue corner for Pro Coat Coatings, he's 2-0 as a professional, 27 years old, and stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 205 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Canadian Martial Arts Center from Lethbridge, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Josh Heinz. And in the red corner for Canes Harley Davidson, he's 3-2 as a professional, 30 years old, and stands 6 feet, 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 204 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Dynamic MMA from Calgary, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Anton Tokarchuk. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Andy Social.
Andy Social, our referee. This fight could be over in a hurry, folks, as Anton Tokarchuk has several first-round knockouts to his name. Josh Heinz, as you heard, has 4 straight knockout victories of his own. So we'll see which one of these strikers gets it done. Also, Josh Heinz, very accomplished on the ground, Jeremy.
He's got excellent jiu-jitsu. He, in fact, helps coach down at CMC. So the fact that he coaches and perhaps a misstep there, and I guess credit to Anton Tokarchuk for giving him space to be able to recover. Perhaps the toe went underneath him. But again, good respect shown by Tokarchuk, who didn't jump all over the opportunity from just a misstep.
Yeah, Tokarchuk very patient in his game. Said he wants to find the strike, and this could be trouble. Tokarchuk could be in trouble. A counterpunch from Heinz, and now recovering very quickly. Tokarchuk, but Heinz on top, swarming, trying to find a finish here.
When Tokarchuk got rocked, he was seeing lights, but he was able to recover enough to be able to fend off this attack. But we'll see how he defends the swarm of Josh Heinz. Josh Heinz had a very tough weight cut, so perhaps we'll see if the tank is there. But now we're at first triangle from Anton Tokarchuk. Great continuity from the rocked fighter.
Again, the height advantage playing into it here as Tokarchuk able to get his long legs up and stop Josh Heinz, holding on here, recovering, looked over at his coaches and gave him a nod. Yes, he feels like he's back. You can see there's a mouse growing under the eye of Anton Tokarchuk here as Josh Heinz now inside control.
And blood coming from the nose. This is definitely where Josh Heinz wants to be. Put that low center of gravity, but look at the strength of Tokarchuk. He basically bench pressed him off of him, but that just allowed Josh Heinz to come down with another big shot and back into side control.
Yeah, very impressive performance from Heinz so far. The big punch and swarming after that. And Tokarchuk's been on the defensive on his back for the last minute and a half. Josh Heinz landing another punch there to the face of Anton Tokarchuk, who is bleeding from the nose already. And again, when fighters see that, it's like a target, Jeremy. They just aim for that spot as much as you can.
Well, now Tokarchuk coming up, and Josh Heinz just continues to put the pressure on Tokarchuk, has the hands around, but the problem is as soon as Tokarchuk spreads those legs, it opens up the hands, and another big shot from Heinz, who's bouncing around, trying to show that he's still fresh even after that big flurry.
So Josh Heinz said, nobody's hit Anton as hard as I can. And again, another big shot there, but Anton coming back, pacing forward here, Jeremy, trying to land some shots of his own. A nice knee just misses though. And Anton now firing shots up against the cage, trying to back up Josh Heinz, use that reach to his advantage.
Well, and he hit Josh Heinz with a really good knee here up against the cage, so that stopped him. And there you go, you see Tokarchuk using that reach to his advantage. On that end, the shot right before, and now he's just laying in these big shots to Josh Heinz, and Josh Heinz trying to come forward, that big right hand, trying to end the fight with one punch.
Yeah, Josh Heinz breathing hard here, early or late in round number one. as Anton Tokarchuk bouncing forward, trying that spinning back fist. Tokarchuk saw that one coming, another spinning back fist from Josh Heinz, and Tokarchuk moving forward now. Heinz stumbling backwards here, Jeremy. He could be in some trouble. As you mentioned, the biggest weight cut of his career to get down to 205.5, and big swing, and Tokarchuk just knocked him backwards.
Well, and it looks like the energy is just running out for Josh Heinz as he threw a big punch that just missed Tokarchuk's face. But Tokarchuk now coming forward with elbows, and now it's Heinz throwing in. These guys are squaring off like a Rocky movie.
You wanted a 205 light heavyweight fight. These guys are giving you one. Both fighters have been rocked in this first round. A minute to go here. Now knees to the midsection from Anton Tokarchuk, who again has a huge height advantage, but Josh Heinz punching up and pushing the big man back.
Well, and there's Josh Heinz coming forward with his head down, and Anton Tokarchuk had that knee up. And now Tokarchuk closing the distance and landing a good right hand, and now a knee.
Oh, another knee, a big one up against the cage. A huge right hand. Tokarchuk right on top. The referee right on top, and pulls away. Hammer fist coming from Tokarchuk. 40 seconds left in round one, and he is doing damage here. This fight is over.
Wow, that fight back and forth. Huge shots being landed both ways, and it was the big shot from Tokarchuk that was able to stop Josh Heinz, and Josh Heinz covered up. Credit to Andy Social for giving him a little bit of time to see if he would defend. These are very high-level professionals, but a good stoppage by Social, eventually stepping in after a number of unanswered blows.
Yeah, Josh Heinz in trouble there, and Anton Tokarchuk, what a performance, almost knocked out within the first 30 seconds of the fight, comes back to put on a performance that people will remember. Jeremy, the fans jumped to their feet when this fight was over. What a performance from these two light heavyweights.
Both these fighters, phenomenal fight, entertaining fight. They're both known for putting on the entertaining fights. They're going to be getting a call from the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship to get them back in the cage.
And we'll see here a replay from early in the fight. There's the big right hand from Josh Heinz as he swarms Tokarchuk, but Tokarchuk, big knees. I mean, huge punches being landed by both fighters. This one was a very entertaining one-round fight, and there Josh Heinz knocked down just a little off balance, but Tokarchuk, a Superman punch followed up with continuity. I mean, what a performance from these two fighters here as they slugged it out for about 4.5 minutes before Tokarchuk finally finished him with hammer fist to the head. Referee Andy Social calling this one, in my mind, a good stoppage there, as Josh Heinz was a little bit in trouble. We do have the official decision, and for that decision, we'll head inside the cage to Jay Denance.
And now, the official decision brought to you by Floors with Elegance. The winner by referee stoppage due to strikes at 4 minutes and 29 seconds in the first round. In the red corner, Anton Tokarchuk!
Anton Tokarchuk will move to 4-2 as a professional. He'll be center of the cage now with Jeremy.
Anton, we'll have a quick chat here. You got rocked with a big shot early in the fight, and Josh Heinz was all over you. What did it take to be able to survive long enough to get back to your feet and back to your striking?
Well, I've been hit before harder than that, but I cannot say that this was the easiest punch from the Josh. It was a good punch, but I think I just stood the test.
Now walk us through the finish. You landed some big knees, and then the big punch that ended up dropping him, and you swarmed him. Talk about that, and talk about that finish.
Well, Josh decided to end the fight quick. And I kind of like that idea, so I have to answer, right?
Last question here for you. You had 2 losses in a row coming into this fight. Does this put you back on the path that you want to be on in your mixed martial arts career?
Of course, it's nice to be back. Nobody is happy when they lose, right? And it's nice to feel back on the trail, right? Thanks for my dynamic team. Oh my God, if those guys wouldn't prepare me for this fight, I don't think I would have this victory.
Give it up for him one more time. Anton Tokarchuk.
Anton Tokarchuk, your winner. Ari, sometimes you see MMA fights where it's skill, skill, skill. This one seemed like a slugfest right from go. Both fighters throwing from the waist, trying to end the fight, and Tokarchuk comes out the winner.
They were both going for the fences right from the start. The fight almost ended about 5 times in that first round. I loved it. Tokarchuk showed a lot of heart. He came back from a very difficult situation and ended up victorious.
Yeah, it's not often we've seen guys fight like that at that level, especially when the light heavyweights go at it. Always good to see the big guys throw big punches.
Yeah, Tokarchuk has very, very good gas. He's always in great condition, and whenever you're in trouble in a fight, conditioning really helps.
Now, it's nice also to see Tokarchuk get back on the winning path after suffering a couple losses. What does he need to do to keep progressing?
I think he just needs to keep fighting. I think all these fighters need to get more and more competition. 5 fights, 10 fights, 20 fights. They need a lot of fights to have all the experience to really have their best performance when it counts.